That day has something unusual.
That day, everything changed.
I arrived to the academy and everything went worse, because there I took the elevator as every day. But this time, the bad luck also did it. When it was up 2 floors, it stopped. It breaks down. Not only that, due to the structure of the lift, no one could hear me. I was trapped in it during 30 minutes, but for me it was like 2 hours. I became desperate. I needed to get out of there. This is the origin of my phobia of enclosed space.
The whole morning was full of work. Without exaggeration, I prepared at least 20 reports. Normally, I hide in the office, but that day I wanted to get some fresh air. As I have less than an hour to eat, I went to a fast food restaurant. I have to admit that I didn't take the best possible decision. The problem came when I realized that the waiter forgot to put in my tray paper napkins. In that moment, I stood up and went to the counter to order a couple of them. Well, I left the table alone. Someone stole my wallet, yeah, and ran away from the crime scene, obviously. I lost everything that I had in it. Actually, the worst part wasn't the loss of the money and the documents. Those are things that can be fixed. What gave me pity were the photos and the memories that I was wearing since always. The wallet was very old, and I have to recognize that was time to retire it.
As the day was getting darker and the morning was very bad, after eating I decided to try to cheer myself buying some new clothes. I entered in a huge number of shops and I bought a lot of things. Practically, I left each shop with a new purchase. It was very relaxing. As I was so tired, I stopped in events to rest. In this way, I could take all my new acquisitions. Large part of the events was occupied by them. I took all my plastic bag and I continued my way. When I got home, I realized that I lost one of them. I didn't remember very well where I forgot it, but probably it was in the vents. In that shopping bag was my new sweater, for which I had been saving during weeks. I didn't even have time to wear it for the first time. When all seemed to improve, everything got worse.
After all my dedication, they didn't consider me fit to continue. I didn't understand it then, and even now. Somehow, I expected that. For weeks, everything had changed for the worse. But I hate to be pessimist. I prefer to see that as a new professional opportunity. That job was a good one, was the typical world of making reports. However, the dismissal was the thrust which I needed to start my own painting academy.
When I was on my way home, suddenly I received a text message in my phone. It was strange because for a long time I hadn't received one. It was a job offer. The place of the job was an office, very near to my old academy. I accepted the job because I really needed it. I would have preferred to work in a fast food restaurant. It was a difficult period on my professional life. I have never liked that kind of work. It consumes you. Luckily now I work in a fashion magazine. I have to recognize that all these problems were solved at the end. That day is that moment.
Blessed Carlton, that day was our origin.
I remember well... Wait a moment. I'm still keeping the photo of your brothers which I found that day in the street.
And 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 I your new sweetheart.
Both of us started the day losing.
But at the end of the game, we are the winners.